What's up, guys? Universal Mastery. So in today's video, what I'm going to be talking about is something that is so important that, to be honest, not many people know, and at the same time people are aware and they have an intuitive feeling that they are being affected by what I'm about to tell you, but they don't really know exactly how it's happening. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video is the planetary cycles and how they are affecting you on a day-to-day basis, whether you're aware of it or whether you're not aware of it. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say when it comes to these planetary cycles is I want to start by saying this. I am no professional astrologer by any means, okay? I am no professional astrologer, but I do probably have a lot more experience by being affected by these planets, meaning I work with these planetary energies directly, and I probably have more experience than maybe a professional astrologer. So you might be thinking, like, how does that make sense? So to be a professional astrologer is to understand the craft of astrology. When you are a magician like myself, you are working with the planets. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm studying exactly like where this planet's located, exactly what, exactly how this planet is going to shift into a certain retrograde, and yada yada yada. Now, these are all amazingly beneficial things. That's just not what I've studied yet, and I will eventually study it. I will become a master at that eventually at some point. But once again, what I'm saying is there's a difference between studying and actually working with. So intuitively, subconsciously, and unconsciously, I am a professional astrologer. But when it comes to conscious awareness, and for me to explain it step by step and fully understand exactly what's going on, I can't do that. So I hope you get what I'm saying there. But once again, because I work with these planetary energies and I have studied them a little bit, I definitely know what I'm saying, and I stand behind what I'm saying because I've gotten direct experience with it. All right, so this video isn't meant to go in depth about each planet. I'm going to make a different video for that, but this is to give you an awareness of exactly how that cycle, those planetary cycles, are affecting you. Okay, so this is the thing, and it's all going to connect to the tree. Okay, and what is the tree? I have a video if you haven't checked it out. It's called the Tree of Life, and it's called How to Work with the Tree of Life, so go check that out. But it's all connected to the tree because we are the tree. We have the tree in us. Remember, the tree has different spheres. You have the Qliphoth, and you have the Qliphoth, and you have the Sephiroth. Okay, and the truth is they are all a part of the same tree, but you can access different parts of that tree through whether it's the Qliphoth or the Sephiroth. So the spheres, I'm going to talk about the spheres. So the spheres are attributed. There is essentially 11 spheres on both trees. The Dath is the hidden sphere. So visually it looks like there's 10. I mean, on the Qliphoth you can see Dath, but typically there's 11 because Dath is essentially a hidden sphere, meaning it crosses you into, you could say, the underworld. It's where you pretty much dissolve your ego and really get to your soul's core, and you kind of bridge that gap between you and your own higher self. It's a very powerful sphere, and it makes or breaks a lot of people. It's like that final test. But this is the thing. So with the knowledge that every sphere has a planetary attribution, then that right there is a good thing to understand, because when you work with a tree, and as you go from one sphere to another sphere, because every sphere has a different planetary attribution, you are feeling those effects from those different planets. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like you will go from this sphere here, let's say this sphere is governed by Mercury, and once again, to get a little more in depth, for those of you that watch my channel, you are more tuned to the side when it comes to working with spirits and working with deities, when it comes to angels and demons, and all that kind of stuff. These angels and demons and these devils, these gods, they are also attuned to those planetary attributes. So rather than like working with just the planet, like you don't just, you know, draw a sigil for the planet and directly start working with that planet. You don't just start calling on the name of Mercury and start working with Mercury. You're going to call on the spirits, the deities, once again, the angels, demons, and gods that govern in that planet, because they are going to be the consciousness that is going to flood through and connect you to that planet and share with you the knowledge that you need to move forward in the way that you are trying to move forward. So once again, we can look, and that's why it gets important when it comes to understanding deities, because they have those planetary attributions. And if you know that this deity over here is directly connected to this planet, and then you know that this deity over here is directly connected to that planet, then you can go to the deity and work with the planets, if you understand what I'm saying there. So that's very important to know. But once again, as you're working on the tree, on the tree, working through the tree, remember, we have every single planetary attunement and alignment within our own bodies. Our spirit actually carries the essence of all of the planets, even if there's planets that we don't necessarily know about, and there are, we carry that in our energy body. So in our physical body, combined with our spirit, we are literally carrying those planetary energies in us, which can also be known as the chakras. And you know, then once again, there's hidden chakras that people don't even know about, meaning there's hidden planets as well. So there is a connection there too. But as you go from working through the spheres, working on yourself, with yourself, working with those other deities, working through those planetary energies that those deities are showing you and attuning you with, you are going to change. Your consciousness is completely going to shift. Okay, your state of mind where you're at right now will end up changing, because you are now being affected by a different planetary energy. So that's why when you start doing this practice and you start doing this work, it is essential to have belief in the fact that this shit is actually real, and the fact that this shit is going to change you. Because if you, let's say for example, you went into these planetary workings with these deities that are going to change your consciousness, they are going to literally imbue you with different planetary energies that are going to cause your state of mind to shift. Can you imagine thinking that shit was not real and thinking it's fake, and then having that happen to you? Well, the truth is that happens to a lot of people, and it scares the fuck out of them. A lot of times people think that they start working with this, you know, with the spiritual, you know, with the spiritual, really the deep spiritual side of life, and they think they start going insane. And the truth is that they may have gone insane. It's just that they did it to themselves. They psyched themselves out because they didn't actually know how real the spirits they were working with actually were. They didn't actually know how real those planetary energies are going to affect you and change the way you think. So, you know, once again, in society, we label these things. Oh, that person's bipolar. That person's not acting the same. What's wrong with them? It's like when you start doing this work, you are constantly evolving. You are literally going to die and be reborn many times as you transverse through these different planetary spheres and, you know, planetary these planetary effects are going to change you, and they are going to cause you to die and then be reborn to something new. And that is their goal. That is how this has been for many years. Longer. This has been going on. Once again, this has been going on for so long. Like, I can't even give you a number. That's how long it's been going on. And this is happening whether you're aware of it or not. The only difference is that when you start to directly work with the planets and the spirits and the deities and work on through those spheres and start to gain an understanding and a knowledge and a wisdom of what's actually taking place, then you are strengthening the effect of those energies. And when you are a practitioner, when you are an adept, you are aware that that by strengthening those energies, that is helping form and mold you even further, more potently and powerfully than ever before. And that's why you do strengthen it. If you're not aware, they are still going to affect you. If you are someone that doesn't pursue spirituality, if you're someone that's not aware of these energies, and you know that you don't believe that spirits are real, which is a lot of society, there's a good amount of people in society that just refuse to believe. What you're doing is you're actively resisting. You are actively fighting it, meaning you are putting your own life force energy. You are pushing against something that is natural and supposed to happen. So the more that you push against it, the more you resist it. We are powerful beings, so those planetary effects aren't going to happen as potently. They are not going to affect you as potently and as powerfully as they could, because you are actively fighting it. That's why a lot of religions are geared around certain dogmas that cause you to want to resist these changes. But if you can open yourself up enough, that's why people say be open-minded. If you can open yourself up enough and be like, you know, I don't necessarily understand what's going on right now, but I know that if I take the steps that I need to take and I try my best to try and understand, that it will eventually make sense to me. But I'm just going to open myself up and let these energies do what they have to do. And you have to be aware, you know, a lot of the times that energy change, depending on what planet you're working with, can be very, very uncomfortable, because it can give you a sense of feeling like you're not in control. It can give you a sense of feeling like you're being restricted from things that your flesh wants, from things that your ego wants. We call it separating the higher self from the lower self. And it's not to be dualistic. It's not to say we're trying to dissolve your ego and you're supposed to live like this forever. That is not the case. It is actually forming your ego, and it is thinning the veil between your ego and your higher self when you start to work with these energies that, once again, are not that comfortable. It thins the veil so that you can start to understand your ego more, and thin that veil between your higher self and your lower self, so that you have more control over your ego and that your spirit can act more effectively, meaning you can literally imagine, put your intention towards things, and they will manifest a lot quicker. And then other people will be looking at you like, how the fuck did you just do that? Remember, this is one of the most powerful sayings. Real power is effortless, but on the journey of getting to real power, there will be force that is involved. There will be pushing and achieving and conquering, and then there will be dissolving, there will be death, there will be letting go. And it is all part of those planetary cycles, and then you are literally reborn, pretty much risen as a phoenix, and then you have these abilities. So this is the thing, and I'm going to speak towards most people. If you are not directly working with a tree, and right now I'm going to be specifically saying the clip off, then you are in the planetary cycles, right? And you are going to resonate with what I'm saying. Every single sphere, whether you're aware of it or not, you don't need to be working with a tree, but every single sphere, meaning every single, let's say 1 month to 2 months, maybe 3 months, I can't really put a number on it, but somewhere in that range, I'm just giving you like average numbers, you are going through these internal changes, meaning maybe during this time, you felt like really energized and you felt like you were getting the things that you wanted to get out of life, and you were conquering your obstacles and you were moving forward, and then maybe 4 months later down the road, there was a little bit of a shift, and you were like, I just want to kind of kick back now. I just want to like relax. You know, I was in a conquering mode, and now I just kind of want to sit back and just do my thing. And then maybe 4 months later, you're going to be in a state of like, okay, I need to really focus on my health. I need to make sure that I'm saving up money to do this and plan my future, 10 steps down the road so that I can have longevity work in my favor. And you will notice that you are going through these internal shifts, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, your ego mind, your lower self, is going to try and rationalize it and is going to try and identify with these changes, which is part of the human process. It's normal, but you have to also be aware that these changes, once again, this is the importance of knowing and having that understanding. These changes are these planets, these deities are going to affect you with those states of mind changes. They are going to change your perceptions, meaning that you may try and really identify with a certain planetary change because you resonate with it and you like it, and you're going to try and hold on to it. But then when that shift comes to go into the next phase, you got to realize that it's time to shift. It's time to change. You get what I'm saying? It's time to change. Because if you're trying to hold on for dear life, then you're not going to fully be molded in the most balanced way that you could to actually become the person that you are going to become and going to try and be. Okay, so for the average person, once again, if you're not working with the clip-off and you're not working with the tree in its darker aspects, then you are going through the planetary cycles. And you are going to go through that the rest of your life. So you will have times where you're crushing life. You'll have times where you're getting the things you want. You'll have times where you're relaxed. You'll have times where you're very restrained. You'll have times where you feel like you're very disillusioned. You're losing a little bit of your identity. You're not sure how to be yourself. You'll have times where you're just in a state of mind of, I just got to let go. Like, it feels weird. And then you'll rise as a phoenix and you'll go back to the top and you'll be energized again. You'll be conquering again. Then you'll go back down. You'll be a little more relaxed. And it goes on and it goes on and it goes on until you gain enough knowledge, until you gain enough wisdom of pursuing the spiritual path. That's when you most likely will be guided by your spirit guides. Once again, you will start to become more tuned to that, to your spirit guides, to your ancestors. Once again, as you're going through the cycles, now people can delay the speed at which they go through these cycles by getting distracted, becoming addicted, hanging out with the wrong people, all those things that can slow down your progress. But if you stay true to it, you will go around that cycle until you get to the point where now your spirits are starting to talk to you. They are going, not necessarily that you're just going to hear them all of a sudden, but you are literally going to be led to most likely working with the deeper, more repressed aspects of life, the darker side. Okay, and that is very commonly where the clip-othic tree is presented. For me, that's exactly how it happened. It actually started working where I started connecting with very powerful dark spirits, and then they led me straight to the clip-othic tree. Okay, so and then when you start working with the clip-othic tree, that is going to be going through that planetary cycle again. When you work with the tree, when you initiate the different spheres and you're ready to go through it, you will be working through the tree, except you'll be working through it in reverse, and it will be 10 times more intense than you've ever experienced it before. But when you get through it that time, you finish it, you are going to break out of the cycle. You are no longer going to be on that planetary cycle. You are going to reverse and then break free from that. And then you will be able to really pursue your journey. That is actually when the journey really starts for your life, because you are going to be empowered. You're going to be able to create what you want. You're going to have more understanding and more effortless control over your life and what direction you're truly trying to move in. And you'll be able to, once again, manifest it a lot more effectively. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. I hope this could give you somewhat of an understanding. I know there's some people that watch this and it really benefited them. So if that's the case, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell, and go to the first link at the top. That'll take you to my Hecate sigil shirt. It's right here, very powerful sigil. This sigil on this shirt can literally cause certain manifestations to happen in your day-to-day life. I'm telling you that from personal experience. This is a really powerful sigil right here. If you're not aware, go ahead and do your research, type in Hecate sigil and just go ahead and study that. But other than that, then go to the link below. That'll take you to my Facebook community. And on my Facebook community, I like to post a little bit of extra content on there in the realm of, little quotes that can help people. You know when you're just going throughout your day-to-day life and then you see a quote and it just, it's just like, I needed to hear that. That's exactly what I am gearing my Facebook community for, and to get a bunch of like-minded people together. So just go ahead and join that as well. And then I will be having a Patreon coming soon. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be dropping it, but it will be coming soon. So stay tuned to that. And other than that, I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Peace.